Hi Leo, welcome back to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth and I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader. This, Leo, is your general bi-weekly reading for the time between the 20th of February and the 5th of March. I'm going to draw 6 cards in the first instance. The first 3 cards are going to relate to this last week in February, the shortest month of the year. And the second 3 cards are going to relate to this first week in March. I've already shuffled and meditated before I have started recording, but I'm going to do a little bit more of that on camera and then we'll get started on your reading. Okay, Leo. There's one more actually. Now you've actually got a lot of clarifying cards, as you can see. I'll know when the rest of these clarifiers are necessary. I do read intuitively. This is not for your suspense. This is just so that I can, I don't get distracted. Saying that, I already know what's coming in your reading. This is the card at the base of the reading. If you follow my channel, Leo, you know that this is one of my sort of the most spectacular cards in the deck, I think. It's the Tower card. Now, the card at the base of the reading is what we call the overall energy. That means the sort of overall experience or karmic situation that you're likely to be facing, the sort of perspective that you need to see this through. And it's interesting that it's a Tower card. Now, many people fear this card, but as I said, for me, this card is literally the definition or the embodiment of divine intervention. You know, sometimes we can spend so long in the same place doing the same things and we don't question that actually, even though we're sort of unfulfilled or dissatisfied with that way of living and way of life, we never question it. And then something happens, a situation, a circumstance arises that actually helps you to see and really understand where you're living and how you feel, really. And this is the energy of the Tower. So the universe is paying attention to your life as an individual when this card hits. So it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the type of things that might be coming towards you, really, over this next couple of weeks. Now, as I was shuffling the cards and dealing the cards, it seems like there's a and I feel like this is a theme. Read the description box below for the astrology. I've not yet written it yet, but it will be there when your video is live. And there seems to be a theme of people, of us as a species anyway, transforming this year, and especially over this next 2 weeks. With that juxtaposition of Aquarius, the end of Aquarius season and the beginning of Pisces season. You know, these two sort of signs could not be more opposite. You know, one is is that sort of logical process, you know, an eye for an eye, if you will. You know, you take my eye, I take your eye. In punishment, that's sword energy. That's the Aquarius sort of influence. And then we've got the Pisces influence, which is coming in now, which is starting Pisces season already. And it's as if, you know, the Pisces that energy is all about emotion, intuition, and our internal processes. And it's almost as if there's a transformation coming between those two things. So over this time, we could be going through huge amount of change, and clearly we have that. Now, the first card for you guys for the last week of February is the Justice card. This is card number 11 in the Major Arcana. You know, we've got 2 already, so, you know, again, suggesting that there's sort of big changes coming for you guys, Leo. You know, this is related to the sign of Libra, which is an air sign. It's number 1111 in the Major Arcana, and this card is about, like I said, an eye for an eye. It's that sort of energy. It's like the things will be balanced in that way. I mean, in that strict way. And there's no sort of getting away from justice here. There's no sort of getting away from redressing a balance. And maybe if you've been treated unfairly, for example, you know, that is going to be coming to an end. There seems to be something coming through that is going to help you to achieve and attain this justice, whether you are someone who needs to be apologized to, or someone needs to apologize to you. Now, I feel like this card actually is related to justice. I felt like that before. So it could be that the justice is related to your home and family. This is, for shorthand, we might refer to this as the marriage card. But number 4s are about the structures and foundations in our lives. And this is the wand energy. The wand energy is the force that moves us, that motivates us to create, to do the things that we love. It also embodies our fears as well, our deepest, darkest fears, and our deepest insecurities. And it's the things really with the Four of Wands that we need to feel secure in ourselves as a soul, as a person, and as an individual. And so it's as if there's some sort of balance that's trying to be restored in this area. So with regards to your sense of self, your identity, the things that you need to feel secure in your relationships, in your commitments, in the commitments that you have in your life, whether they be work, love, family, whatever. There's been an imbalance, or the balance is going to be addressed over the next couple of weeks with regard to home, family situations, or things that you're committed to, things that you feel that you need in your life. If there's been imbalance in those things, it seems to be justice is coming through. A surprise event could happen. You know, this could be anything from someone falling, breaking the leg, and then actually needing your help and realising that you've always been a good person all along. It could be that type of energy, you know, or any sort of situation similar, anything really. We've got the Hangman next, Leo, and you know, I get a sense of confusion from your reading, and I feel like I'm picking up on your energy, as if you're confused about something or unsure how to proceed about something. You know, some of you, you know, looking at these cards here, Justice, Four of Wands and Tower, it could be indicative of, you know, someone ending a relationship or commitment. So if you're in a committed relationship, for example, or a marriage even, it could be seeking divorce or seeking to separate, moving out of the family home. You could want to do that, or the partner might want to do that. This could be a thing that comes as a shock or as a surprise. But the Hangman is here, which means that there's a sense of consideration that's already taken place, either on your part or on their part. If you want to change something about the things that you're committed to in your life that help you to feel secure, i.e. your relationship, your job, your family situations, etc., whatever that is for you, this is relating to. If you have been considering making a change, it could be that change comes through in a surprising way with the Tower this week. You know, you might be the one that says, okay, I'm going to leave this job, the relationship, whatever, or it could be the other person does. Either way, it comes as a surprise. So it's as if there's something coming through, there's energy coming through that's going to help, or that's basically going to kick you up backside, this is related to that. So again, we've got this idea of, there's an idea of confusion, you know, with this, you know, but again, you've already put some consideration and thought into this, you or the other person, or, you know, if it's a situation, you've already put some thought into this. The Hangman, you know, asks us to see things, to see our situation from a different point of view. And again, that can lead to confusion. So whether you've been deciding, I'm definitely going to leave, and then you decide you're going to stay, whatever that is, in whatever situation that is, that could be, it's kind of like not even weighing up those options. It's about seeing things from a different perspective that might surprise you. But there's something in your life that wants to change. This card also, the Seven of Cups, has come up a few times this week. And really the Seven of Cups, I compare that to the energy of the Mercury retrograde, which is coming up very soon. So if you just check the description box below, and it does feel like a similar sort of energy to me to experience. Okay, this is your next card, and we've got the Strength card. This is you, Leo, obviously. This is your card, number 8 in the Major Arcana. Another Major Arcana we've got here. The Strength card is, shorthand, I say this: even lions are weak sometimes. Like, even lions feel weak and feel tired sometimes. And this is basically, to me, what the Strength card represents. It represents, you know, endurance. It represents being in situations that show you your strength. Now, invariably, that means, you know, you don't know how far you can go until you have to get somewhere that's out of reach. You don't know how far you can push yourself until you have to push yourself beyond the comfort. And that is really the essence of strength, the Strength card to me. You know, you've never run a marathon before, but if your life depended on it, you could run a marathon. That's the energy of the Strength card, if that makes sense. And it also, this is your energy. So this is really about, it seems to be either about you. You know, this is a reading about you, the things that you want, the decision that you're trying to make in the things that you're committed to in your life that seem ordered, that seem, this is how it's, as I said, you never question how things should be. You know, this is how it is. You know, I've got this job, this marriage, these children, whatever it is for you that gives you that security, and the security that you never question. Well, it is questioned. You're starting to question it for some reason. You know, something makes you question the situation that you're in currently, the situation that is seemingly solid. Something makes you question that. Whatever that is, I don't know. That's, you know, it could be anything, but it's going to be something specific to your life that makes you question it. And we've got the Strength card here. So again, this is you, it's affecting you. Let's have a look. It's another Major Arcana card. Wow. We've got the Hierophant here. So the Hierophant is related to Taurus. So some of you could be, you know, this could be a relationship with a Taurus, but it could also be, and seemingly, this used to be called the Pope card, the Hierophant card. So this is about the structures, the institutions in life, if you will, the institutions, the things, as I said, that we hold dear, the things that are the ways that we do things, the proper ways to do things, the ways that we approach life, you know, the structures in life, if you will, you know, education and marriage and you know, that type of thing. And this looks at that. This energy sort of is about, it's number 5, so it's also, it indicates a change coming through about your opinion or about your way of thinking. You know, for example, maybe you're someone who's always been monogamous, yeah? So you've always believed in monogamy. Monogamy is the thing that you believe in, you know, one person two people in a relationship, and that's it. And then suddenly something happens over this time that makes you question whether monogamy is really for you. So maybe you're happily married, and then suddenly you meet somebody else and you're happily married. This is just like an example, yeah? And what do they call, like, polygamy? Is it, you know, polygamy, where you have more than one partner, partner, polyamory. So all of a sudden you meet somebody, you're like, oh my God, like maybe I like polyamory, and it's a shock to you. That's now that's obviously maybe an outlandish, situation, but it's that it's this sort of energy that's coming through. It's like something that you hold dear, something that is, second nature to you, something that gives you security, is suddenly challenged. And it suddenly asks you, this challenge that comes through asks you to look at your life and see whether or not the things that you have never questioned, whether or not actually they are right for you, they are the things that you want. This is what this is indicating. Now that seems like quite a lot. It's a lot of information, that, and maybe quite complicated, and it is quite complicated. It's a lot to say. It's a lot to try to sort of explain. But, ultimately, this is you seem to be entering, something new's coming in, new energy is coming in, and you're entering a new cycle, Leo. The things that you have held dear, as I said, suddenly you start to question those things. And again, we can understand that. I just said at the beginning that the juxtaposition of the end of Aries season, and Aquarius season, and the beginning of Pisces season, it is this combination of really looking a deep dive on the emotions, on the things that are beneath the surface, on the things that we don't ever question. We start to look a deep dive. We take a deep dive into those, and it is confusing and it's overwhelming, potentially. But really, everything comes out in the wash. The things that need to remain will still be standing strong, even after this hits you, this bolt from the blue hits you. The things that need to remain and should remain and are authentic to you will remain. The things that are good for you will remain, but everything else will be washed away. So, it's about really examining your principles, your perspective, your ideals, your judgments on things. It's really looking at all those things and saying, is this really still what I think? Is this really still my perspective? Is this really still serving me? Is this really still giving me everything I need in life? When the Tower shows up, there are some things that definitely are not meant to be there. Look at this. Yes, Ace of Wands. Excellent. So again, this new energy is coming through for you, Leo. This card is linked to this card, directly linked to this card. So let's have a look at what it is now. The Page of Cups. So there's new energy coming through to you, Leo, this month. 100%, over this next couple of weeks, 100%, a new way of looking at something, a new way of seeing something, a new way of doing something, a new way of approaching something. It is coming to you. Even though you thought, yeah, everything's cool, there's an instance of actually something needs to change. And we've got this energy here, the Page of Cups. So this is actually linked to, obviously, to Pisces, and obviously this is linked to you. We've got this energy of the Page of Cups. So now, this is like, for me, it's coming more and more when I've spent more and more time with this energy. I've realised that actually it's really about the inner child. And I have, as you know, I've been off work. I've not been working, have I, for the past, since about the 5th of January. I know I tried to come back to work too soon, actually, and I was very unwell. But actually, I had the flu. Anyway, so I haven't been out really. I haven't been out of my house much. I haven't, been doing much. But I realised, through the course of the energies that I was going through, which is like the Hermit and the Seven of Cups, and, I started to realise that when our bodies are changing physically, we're going through changes on other levels too. We're going through changes spiritually and emotionally and mentally. We're going through changes when we're going through a physical experience like that, like an illness where we're trying to get over it. We're still going through evolution and change and new understandings on different levels. And I realised that there were things that still made me feel vulnerable. And as I came out of this, I'm better now, and I came out of this and I realised, oh my gosh, there's things that still made me feel vulnerable, things that I thought, wow, I'd never even thought about. And when we realise these things, we live in a life, everything's cool, everything's chill, we're just doing good, and then suddenly we go through an experience, an illness, or we've got a bit of time off work, we're not doing much, whatever. Circumstances, situations can arise that sort of help make us see a vulnerability that we'd sort of thought we'd long lost, or we were no longer engaged with. And this is that energy. Now, I know that was a long-winded, but this is that type of energy of realizing that there's something, there's someone, there's an element of you that is vulnerable still, and it might be something that you've not looked at for a long time. It might be something you've not considered, not something that you didn't think was affecting you anymore. But that's when this energy comes through. It's like this energy comes through showing actually there is something that the inner child wants to, that you as a you've lived longer, you've grown up, you've done more things, and there's still something that sort of that you carry around, a vulnerability that sticks with you. And you didn't even realise it stuck with you. But actually, that does actually colour how you treat people, how you live, etc. Blah, blah, blah. This is that energy of the Page of Cups, recognising that, seeing that part of yourself. And wanting to sort of, first of all, we just have to recognise that it's there. And this, it seems like this situation, circumstance is going to allow you to see what that is. And it's going to make you want to begin something. It's going to make you want to start something. Now, it's potentially, let's see, do something differently. So we've got this energy with this card, the Ace of Wands. We've also got the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is for shorthand the wish fulfillment card, and the Nine of Cups is about things that we hold dear, things that we hide, maybe potentially from ourselves, from other people. I've always wanted to be a children's book author. I don't know where that came from, but there you go. That's an example. So, you've got a really good job, you've got a really good marriage, you're a doctor, you're a doctor in any country, that's a good job, isn't it? So you're a doctor, you've got a great education, you've got a great family, well respected, in life, well respected in the community, you're financially secure, blah, blah, blah. This is you. And then suddenly something comes through that makes you question it. This could come about from the blue. It could come, your husband might just say, I'm leaving you. I'm having an affair, I'm leaving you, for example. Or you'd say, I'm not happy, or, I don't know, something could happen to the hospital. I don't know, whatever. I'm just making stuff up. But I'm just trying to say that something comes out of the blue. And it's this situation that makes you question or remember that dream that you once had. That dream, actually, even though I'm a doctor and I've dedicated my life, I just want to be a children's book author. That's all I've ever wanted to do. And I'm going to start to admit that to myself. This is like the energy of those three cards. Now, it doesn't have to be a children's book author. It's just, I'm trying to just give examples of, situations that sort of, not situations. Oh, you're right, Tiny. Not situations necessarily, but, an example of that type of energy, like what that type of energy might look like in your life. So it's that type of thing, okay? So let's have a look next. Okay, so we've got this energy here. I'm going to just do this while I do that, because this is actually going to be connected. So we've got the energy here of the Three of Swords. Shorthand, I always say this is a situation or a circumstance that left you feeling disempowered, something that's already happened. So with the number 3, we've also got the opportunity here to transform from that, to change from that, to overcome that event of disempowerment. And this is something that we hold with us. Similar to what I was saying already, but it's something that you hold with you, and it just becomes part of who you are. You think it becomes part of your identity. So, my dad left when I was, another example, my dad left when I was a child. My dad left mum, so I'll never trust a man again. And that's just something that you hold on. And again, you don't really think it bothers you. Like, you know what I mean? It's just life. That's just who you are. Like, I just don't trust men. Some people are like that, aren't they? Some people, I mean, if that's what you're like, fair enough. If that's where you're at now in your life, then that's fair enough. That's where you're at, innit? That's what your life has taught you. But, some people do, they're just like, I'll never trust a man again. I'll never trust a woman again. I just never will. But they still like, they'll still get married. They'll, but they know that that's who they are. I can't trust a man. I don't really trust him. Yeah, I'm with him, but blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So it's like now suddenly there's a situation that's sort of helping you to revisit this period of disempowerment, this event that makes you think of yourself in a certain way. There's something that's, similar to that. As I said, the energy of the Page of Cups is why I pulled it out again. There's something that is that you've not faced yet. But I don't think, you've not faced yet, but I don't think that it's like something that you're sort of hiding from yourself almost. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like something that you're like suppressing even. It's just, you've lived your life, you're living your life, you're doing your stuff, but it's as if suddenly, and this happened to me yesterday, and I'm a Capricorn, so I don't know what that was about, but it's that time. But it's as if you're living your life, you know, you're fine. It's not like you're hiding from yourself. It's not like you're like pretending that, oh, I'm happy, but really I'm sad. No, that's not what's going on. But it's as if you're living your life, and then suddenly, I don't know, a song comes on the radio, or you bump into an old friend, and you are transported back to a time when you felt this way, this happened, whatever. And suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that, like, I didn't realise that was something that I still held on to. Like, I didn't, as I said, you're not hiding it from yourself. It's that type of thing. But similarly to me personally, you know, it's something that you can, once you sort of see it, it's quickly overcome. It's just interesting to actually see it. Do you know what I mean? Just a second, let me close that door because Tiny's being noisy. Be quiet, tiny dog. So we've got, you know, it's something that we can that can easily be overcome almost. But it can leave you feeling a little bit sort of maybe disorientated for a little bit. I mean, for me, it lasted an hour, a couple of hours. You know, reflect on it. You know, I just meditated on it. I did conscious meditation, which is where I speak out loud about it. So I'll say, oh God, this happened today. And, you know, I'm surprised that, you know, it made me feel like this. Why do I feel like this? Like, why do I feel like, you know, why am I upset? And I'm speaking out loud on my voice message, on my voice, you know, on a voice note on my mobile phone. This is just today. This is truly what happened. And I'm like, wow, you know, I'm really surprised that email, it was an email, made me feel that way. Like, I don't get why. And I was speaking out loud like this. And I was like, oh, maybe, oh my gosh. And as I was speaking, it sort of dawned on me, first of all, where this sort of, you know, the link between my current emotion now and sort of where that came from originally, and then sort of unpicking that. And, you know, I spotted the voice message lasted about, I don't know, 20 minutes. And after that, I was fine. So it gives you that clarity, and it gives you that, you're gaining strength. You're realising, you're starting to learn who you are. You're starting to face up to things that, again, as I said, not that you've necessarily been hiding, but you're starting to realise things about yourself. And those realisations is what brings through happiness. That's what joy is. That's the difference between, I always say this, that's the difference between the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. I mean, the Ten of Pentacles is like, this is what I want this, I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to, you know, get the family, get the dog, get the job, whatever it is. But the joy, the Cups energy, is about the joy that's within. It's about those moments where we realise, where we know, where we start to accept, where we love ourselves. Those are the things that really give us the security, because we know who we are. Once we know who we are, there's no shaky foundations. And that's kind of what this next couple of weeks is trying to bring through to you. Like everybody else, you know, it's bringing through this clarity, you know, this understanding of self. It's bringing that through. And even though those moments, as I said, you know, you're a bit uncomfortable. God, you know, I've not thought about this for ages, or, you know, I can't believe that I didn't even make that link. can't believe I didn't make that connection, or I can't believe I didn't, etc., etc. So that's just the time. That's Pisces season, is that's what Pisces season is about. So for the next month, expect to be, and I know it's been bombarding already, 2019. I know it has. I know it's bombarded us already with a lot of information, a lot of intense energy. You know, we've felt it. We know that. But this year is a transformative year for us all. So, you know, don't get tired in February, man. Don't get tired in March, because we've got a whole year to come. But I promise you, by the end of 2019, you are going to be in a completely different place to where you're at now. In a happy, as in internally happy, as in knowing who you are, as in taking care of your mental health, as in taking care of your physical health, as in, you know, giving yourself compassion. That's the place you're going to be by the end of 2019 if you continue to do the work. So we've got the Queen of Swords next at the 5th, you know, for this 5th of March. And I do apologise, Tiny's being noisy, it's really annoying. we've got this energy here. So the sword energy is about our thoughts, our minds, our clarity, our consciousness, our communication, what we say, what we think, what we allow ourselves to say, what we allow ourselves to think, realizations, truth, honesty from within, with it being passive, with it being the queen. Okay, this is about what's within. It's the same as cups energy. It's passive. It's the emotions, the intuition. So this is learning about yourself, understanding about yourself, understanding a truth, coming to a truth about who you are, about what you want, about what you want to say, about what's your true voice. That is this energy. So it's, you know, and again, even though, I mean, that's number 8. And you've got your card above it. And this is a new cycle for you, because it's a new cycle for all of us. We're really reaching a real depth this year, we're trying to get to know ourselves truthfully and spiritually and as a species as well. And that type of energy is scary. I did a meditation beforehand, as I always do. And usually my meditation lasts about sort of 10 minutes. This time my meditation lasted 30 minutes. And it's really complicated sometimes to explain, because I meditate every day, and I've meditated every day for, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, coming 5 years, 6 years. And so the level sort of my understanding is that, if you went to school every single day and studied something every single day for 6 years, you would be an expert at it. You'd have a degree. You'd be a doctor by now if you studied, do you know what I mean? If you studied medicine for the last 6 years, every single day, twice a day, for hours, for whatever, you would be an expert. So that's so you've got that sort of level of understanding. I'm trying to explain to you, though, that the meditation I literally just had before I turned the camera on. So I turned the camera on at, it was 1 o'clock on here, 1:00, and now it's 2:02. So I turned it on when I started meditating. So as I said, about half an hour ago. And this was a sort of something that I just broke through, literally just now, physically, in meditation. Now, for you as an individual looking at this card, this is a card it's the 8 of Swords. So it's about being stuck in a way of thinking, or being scared, or being unable to sort of look at a situation from a different point of view, look at your situation, your life from a different point of view. Even though we start doing that, it can sort of be uncomfortable for us to do that. But there's something else about this card which always sort of strikes me. And when I was in the meditation, I had this sort of experience, if you will. And I'll try to explain it in a second, okay? So what we do with this card, when we're stuck in a way of thinking about ourselves, our lives, we sort of cut off our access almost to some of these chakras here. So we've got our second chakra, our sacral chakra, which is represented by the wand energy here. We've got our third chakra, which is our solar plexus, which is all about expansion and authenticity. And then we've got our heart chakra here, which is obviously about love, our expression of love, our ability to accept and receive love, blah, blah, blah. Now, those areas are cut off when we're stuck in a way of thinking, because we can't, because we're not being truthful with ourselves, and we're not. And as I said, it's not like you're doing it on purpose. It's just that this has been here because of this. This overrid your sort of self-compassion in a way. And anyway, so we restrict ourselves from feeling, from experiencing. And this is not something that we're necessarily conscious of, but it's something that happens. And it's a result of, as I said, being stuck in a way of thinking. Now, you overcome that here. But this type of release that needs to happen is in your thoughts. You've got to allow yourself to, it's not necessarily, well, this indicates question. This indicates to question your security and the state of your life, even though it's seemingly everything you want. This asks you, maybe, are you questioning it? But I think you question that because of something to do with some imbalance is brought in through the justice. Some imbalance is brought in through this justice card here and the Tower energy here. And that's something to do with, as I said, who you are, the structures in your life, your perspective, blah, blah, blah. And it seems like you're gonna be entering a new karmic cycle. We've got 8. These are all karmic cycles. We've got new beginnings here. We've got the Tower here. So we've got this energy of new cycles here, and this is really about a new way of thinking. And even if this is something that, as I said, it's scary or it's intense, you know, to look back and say, God, yeah, I can't believe, you know, I cried when I thought about this event yesterday. But as I said, I was done. I was fine within a couple of hours. It was fine. But that is what we mean by doing the work. We don't turn away from it. If we have an uncomfortable feeling, we can't what's the point in turning away from that uncomfortable feeling? Because it exists. You carry it around with you. Your inner child carries that uncomfortable feeling around with you. That feeling of, you know, feeling inadequate or feeling unable to speak or unable to speak your truth or unable to do the things you want. Those things we carry around with us. And really, over this next 2 weeks, it's about recognizing that aspects of yourself that you have carried around with you that has made you feel, even though you've not been conscious of it, disempowered, for example, and really breaking through that, you know, starting to look at yourself and your life in a different way, in a way that's actually more healthy and more stable and more in line with who you are and where you need to be. Okay? So that was a lot of information, I know, Leo. So, but yours is a very spiritual reading. You really, your readings have a real depth here, actually. So, you know, these areas, if you are someone who meditates, I highly recommend it. You know, I would definitely focus in meditation on that part of your body. So on your, your 7 chakras, you know, go, you know, from there. So your root chakras at the base of your spine, and they go up in a sort of pretty steady line until your 7th chakra is above the crown of your head here. So, you know, but I would say focus on this area here of the body, just to sort of see if you're holding any tension inadvertently in that area. If you are, we just try to release it, because in that area, as I said, you've got this energy here, this energy that gives you that impetus to move. You've also got the authenticity of the solar plexus, and you've also got the compassion of the heart chakra as well. Okay, so I definitely say in meditation, if that's something that you do, definitely focus on those areas. Okay, my darlings, I hope you liked that video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and give it a like. Obviously, feel free to share this video on your Facebook, your WhatsApp, your Facebook Messenger, whatever, if you think it's going to help other people. Leave a comment, and I will read your comments. I read every single comment and respond pretty much to every comment. And obviously, if you haven't already subscribed, you can click the bell and my little head, which should be appearing very soon, or which is there. Click my little head, and you can you can subscribe to my channel, and that means that you get notifications when I do. Obviously, it's free, so do it. You get notifications when I upload. I'll be uploading the love readings, March love readings next week. If you want to look at a little bit more of my videos, you can check out the Key Wisdom playlist, which I'll connect at the end of the video. And finally, those people that are interested in personal readings, I have changed my offerings of personal readings. So I'm going to be doing a little video today, so it'll be uploaded at the same time. So if you are interested in a personal reading, check out that video for all the information, okay? Okay, my darlings, have a wonderful couple of weeks. Be mindful, be responsive to what you're experiencing, what you're going through, what you're thinking, how you're feeling, etc. And, you know, reflect on those things and accept it, because, you know, this is about accepting and becoming aware of the things that you do think about yourself, your life, other people, etc. Okay, my darlings, have a wonderful couple of weeks, and I'll see you all again next week with your love reading. Take care, my darling Leos. Bye.